The Deventer murder case and quantum mechanics in nigh 4 minutes. Proper probabilistic reasoning is like solving a murder case, as this book by Schum proves. This line of reasoning is the ultimate method to solve any scientific problem in this train your brain way. It works akin to a simple set of rules of chess. Follow the links below for more information. First of all, my apologies to the relatives as a lawyer that this case still has no closure. I take the following as facts. In 1999, in a Dutch town Deventer, a widow was found murdered via multiple stab wounds and strangulation, as the coroner's report brought into undisputed evidence. The rich widow created a forensic heaven by keeping her house and herself spotlessly clean. There were no signs of breaking and entering, and the outside doors were closed. Ernst L. is still the convicted murderer by law, who, with the aid of others, has challenged the verdicts in several legal proceedings, claiming a miscarriage of justice. Days after the widow was found dead, Ernst was arrested as a suspect and confronted with a clear print of the palm of his hand above the inside of the door. To this day, he hasn't disputed the match or given any explanation as to how his print came there. On this evidence alone, we must conclude that Ernst is at least the probable murderer, or at that level in on the crime by attempting to cover it up afterward. Yet there is no sign or need to suspect more than one culprit, because only his prints were found and the modus operandi only requires one person. Assuming that the prosecutor in the indictment took the period of the murder in between the last time evidence shows her to have been alive and the moment days later the police were on the crime scene, then there is already sufficient evidence on which to base a conviction beyond reasonable doubt that Ernst is the sole murderer in light of all other data taken into evidence. Any stated alibi by Ernst must cover that entire period. The problem Ernst has is that all the further evidence is either irrelevant or points to him as the only culprit. It only clouds the issue, which has to do with the fact that most judges and lawyers in the Netherlands are justifiably deep idiots at the abstract logic required to solve these probabilistic problems. In another murder case, Lucia de Burgh was acquitted after a miscarriage of justice, which proves that most mathematicians and statisticians are deep idiots in artistically composing a testable Bayesian scenario. The proof is the idiotic discussion in science of what is better, Bayes or frequentistic statistics. Used correctly, both should render the same results. Ernst didn't notice his hand automatically seeking support, wiping the door clean of his prints. He had means, motive, and the befitting personality type shown by his aggressive, impulsive behavior in court after the first conviction. The scenario is that he, as a narcissist, was told to his face by the widow that he was disinherited after having counted on getting rich. The only thing the prosecution has to prove is that it's possible to compile at least one such convincing scenario as circumstantial evidence. The latter term as jargon is used when there is only one possible scenario, of which in the Deventer case there are several possibilities. The same goes for any proof, local or non-local, such as solving quantum weirdness. That Homo sapiens exists is intergalactically improbable, yet we by absolute proof do. QED.